Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating intersection where ancient esoteric frameworks completely converge with modern science. We're going to take a close look at the concept of rhythm, the practice of repeating sacred sounds, and how these elements deeply, fundamentally impact the human mind. If you've ever found yourself wondering why repetitive sound has been used for literally millennia across almost every culture, well, you're absolutely in the right place.
So, can repeating sacred sounds actually influence the mind and your emotions? It's a huge question, right? Because, let's face it, we all deal with the fundamental problem of mental noise. The constant chatter, the endless notifications pinging in our brains, the everyday anxieties of modern life. Today's explainer unpacks how thousands of years of tradition, sitting right alongside modern scientific metrics, attempt to solve that universal problem of mental static.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the power of sacred sounds, move over to calming the mental field, explore the concept that the universe is sound, examine astrological maps alongside scientific facts, and finally, look at finding your inner stillness.
Section 1. The Power of Sacred Sounds, from Mysticism to Mental Focus.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to recognize that in traditions like Vedic astrology, this practice begins with consciousness, not just your physical voice. Astrology views human life as an expression of rhythm. Think about that for a second. We aren't just static beings randomly walking through time, we are inherently rhythmic. From our heartbeat, to our breath, to our sleep cycles. Chanting is traditionally understood as a practice that gradually harmonizes your own chaotic, everyday mind with those much deeper, much steadier inner rhythms.
And this brilliantly illustrates the symbolic framework we're working within. Planets symbolize recurring psychological patterns. The moon reflects our internal emotional landscape. Karma unfolds through cycles of experience. Basically, astrology uses the outer cosmos, the massive predictable movement of planetary bodies, as this perfect ordered metaphor for inner human experience. Chanting is essentially a way to invite that macro-level steadiness into our micro-level daily lives.
Moving on to Section 2, calming the mental field, the moon, Mercury, and mental noise.
Now we're going to connect those ancient, grand planetary archetypes directly to the everyday anxieties you and I experience right now. Vedic astrology places a massive emphasis on the moon because it governs emotions, memory, and mental stability. A strong moon? That means emotional balance and resilience. But a challenged moon? That reflects inner restlessness, fear, confusion, and constantly fluctuating moods. Honestly, that sounds exactly like the stress of a modern workday, right? Chanting traditionally aims specifically to calm this restless mental field associated with a challenged moon.
And then we have Mercury's influence. Mercury governs speech, communication, thought, and basically the mind's constant movement through language. So the crucial point is this. Our attention naturally scatters across countless thoughts all day long because that is the very nature of the mind's Mercury energy. It's constantly moving, constantly evaluating, and just constantly fragmenting our focus.
So how do we actually fix this fragmentation? Well, let's walk through the steps. Step 1, our attention naturally scatters. Step 2, we introduce a steady, rhythmic sound that is perfectly synchronized with our breathing. Step 3, the mind is repeatedly forced to return to one sound, one rhythm, and one intention. And finally, Step 4, mental fragmentation is deeply reduced. You're giving the mind a single, focused direction. There's absolutely no magic here. It's a highly structured alignment between your speech, your thought, and your awareness.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds. The universe is sound. Discovering Nada Brahma.
We are zooming out now to a much broader, truly fascinating philosophical dimension, Nada Brahma. This is a beautiful, ancient concept. It literally means the universe is sound. The idea is that creation begins with vibration before ever taking on a physical, tangible form. Every living being participates in this universe of resonance. From this viewpoint, chanting isn't just a vocal exercise to stop you from worrying about your inbox. It's an active attempt to consciously participate in the universal rhythm, rather than just being a passive victim of endless mental noise. Now, what's really fascinating here is how specific sounds map directly to specific psychological goals. It is essentially a diagnostic map for your mind. If you need courage and disciplined action, traditions point you to Mars mantras. Need clarity and learning, you focus on Mercury. Seeking emotional peace, you look to the moon. These sounds don't magically force planets to change course. Rather, they encourage the practitioner to intentionally express the higher qualities represented by those planetary energies. It's a beautifully targeted approach to cultivating different mental states.
But, and this is important, the source material emphasizes that spiritual practices should always respect personal timing and individual birth charts. Experiences completely vary from person to person. Someone going through a difficult, heavy period, what astrologers call a Saturn dasha, might desperately need the comfort of disciplined, daily, repetitive chanting. Meanwhile, someone in a Jupiter period might use chanting to discover much deeper philosophical meaning and expansive faith. It's a highly individual approach.
All right, Section 4, Astrological Maps, Scientific Facts, Bridging the Mystic and the Metric.
Let's shift our lens completely from ancient philosophy over to modern neurological science and see how the data stacks up. Modern scientific research has investigated this practice, and the measurable effects are striking. Rhythmic vocal repetition reliably supports relaxation, naturally regulates breathing, deeply improves attention, and significantly reduces perceived stress. These findings prove that chanting isn't just a mystical idea. It causes a measurable biological change right inside your nervous system and your cognitive processes.
This comparison really brings it all together beautifully. We are looking at two entirely different disciplines. Astrology explores the symbolic meaning, the timing, and the higher psychological potential of the experience. Science, on the other hand, investigates the observable mechanisms and the strictly measurable effects on the human nervous system. Yet, regardless of their totally different methodologies, both disciplines arrive at the exact same undeniable conclusion. Repetitive, rhythmic sound deeply and positively influences human mental experience.
Finally, Section 5, Finding Your Inner Stillness, Changing the Relationship with Emotion. This is the ultimate takeaway of our explainer today, and exactly why this ancient practice matters so much to you in the modern world. It is absolutely crucial to understand what chanting does not do. Anger may still arise, fear may still appear, grief may absolutely still visit the heart. Chanting is not an escape from reality, and it doesn't suppress or magically erase difficult human emotions. But you develop a quieter place to witness them. It fundamentally transforms your relationship with your emotions, ensuring that you aren't completely consumed by the storm when it hits.
Let's close with this beautiful, profound quote from our source text. Chanting offers the possibility of discovering an inner stillness that neither success nor failure can permanently disturb. Wow, that is incredibly powerful. True stability isn't about avoiding life's chaos. It's about finding an unshakable rhythm right within the middle of it. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ask yourself today. What internal rhythms are you currently tuning into every single day? And could you maybe actively choose to tune into a quieter one?